Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Dylan. Today I'm going to take you through 4 exercises that you can do to work on the topspin forehand. And these exercises are going to range from easy, medium and difficult, and there's going to be a lot of different varieties that you can encourage in your juniors as a coach or if you're working on as a junior. So I'm going to list them just here as you can see, and we're going to go through them and break them down for you guys just now. The goal of the topspin forehand is to apply spin so that the ball can go from a high trajectory and bounce into the court. When hitting a flat forehand, the ball will go on a flat horizontal line and the ball could potentially go long. So if you can see this ball just now, this would be a flat forehand. And as you can see on that forehand, the ball will drift a lot higher and it will not have that dip as soon as you need when hitting the topspin forehand. So as you can see on this ball, I'm going to hit with a little bit more topspin and the ball is going to dip back down into the court. And one final time, the goal is to hit with like a rainbow shape. So the more topspin we apply to the ball, the faster we can swing, the more likely the ball is going to dip back into the court, and therefore you're going to be more consistent. So it looks something just like so. So I'm going to have a coach here or friend to hold a pole, racket or stick out in front of you, and you're going to start with your hand above the pole, and the pole is going to be roughly at waist height, just like this. And as you see, when my hand is starting nice and high, I'm going to take it high and it's going to go just below before swinging up on the ball. This is hopefully going to help you create a little bit more topspin on the ball. So we're going to do a few shadow swings, 2 just to start. So underneath, finishing high. Same again, starting high, underneath, finishing high. And then now we're going to apply and add the tennis ball into. So starting with the ball out in front, just like so, dropping with the racket and spinning up on the ball. We want to start nice and slow, and we then want to build up in intensity and speed. So same again, starting high over the tube, underneath, and swinging up nice and through. For the second part of the topspin forehand, you're then going to have a net. And the goal here is to not hit horizontal to the net, as otherwise you're going to be hitting a flat forehand. As you see, when the net is the ball, you're going to imagine that you're contacting the ball out in front of your body, and you're going to be spinning up over the net, finishing nice and high. We're going to start with 2 shadow swings again. So underneath the ball, hitting and high. And as you can hear, that contact sound, nice and clean, hitting through the ball, but we're brushing on that side of the net. One more, just like so. And another way you can work on this is by getting a tennis ball and sticking it on the net with your racket. And the goal here is to then brush the ball over the net, and the ball wants to roll as it's going over the net onto the other side. For the third part of the topspin forehand, you're going to then drop down on one leg. And as you see on this one leg, you want to make sure that your racket is palm facing down on the floor. You're not going to move the racket until you strike the ball. And the goal here is for you to drag your racket through the ball and up through your shot. And as you see again, the racket is placed on the floor, drive through, finishing nice and high over the opposite shoulder. Good, and so I'm going to use now a tennis ball. I'm going to repeat the same exercise. So ready, dropping, brushing, finishing nice and high over the opposite shoulder. So as you can see, my racket is palm facing down, ball fed nice and high, dropping underneath and brushing over the shoulder. And this is the exact same movement as if your racket was starting high, dropping below, and then finishing high. We're just breaking this down into a smaller component for you to then work on that topspin forehand. So the racket starting low, get underneath, and brushing nice and high, just like so. The final part of the topspin forehand is a visual part. So as you can see, we want to imagine there is a 2-meter line over the net. And this is where you want to be hitting above over the net before the ball drops into the court. So now we've added all the components in for the high take back, also from the low racket below the ball, and also with the net of brushing underneath from that point underneath the ball and nice and high. We're now going to add in the actual ball striking and the visual perception of how high we hit over the net and into the court. So here are a few drop feeds for myself. And as you can see, when striking the ball, I'm lifting my hands up and through the ball. I'm not pulling my hands across my body and finishing low by my waist. And depending on how high the ball is, depends on how high your hands go. So if the ball is slightly lower, you can maneuver your hands a little bit lower while bending your knees. And likewise, if the ball is a little bit higher, you want to raise your hands to the flight of the ball. You do not want the ball really high and your hands low down here. So you want your hands nice and high for the high ball, then we can drop below before finishing nice and high. There are the 4 exercises that you can incorporate to hopefully get yourself hitting more topspin balls on the forehand side. I'm going to put the exercises up just here so you can check them out. And thank you for watching this video, and be sure to subscribe, like and comment, and also let me know in the comments if you want to see any other videos, tennis or fitness related. So stay tuned, guys.